In this training, we're going to be covering the basics of using essential oils, what they are, and how to use them safely and effectively with dogs. We'll explain why we choose to use only Young Living essential oils, and we will cover the really important questions that get asked a lot, and those are: how much do you use, how do you apply them, and how often do you apply them? Before I started my Young Living journey, I was a single mom of 2 kids. I was living in poverty. I was eating from food kitchens, and I was so sick I could barely get out of bed. I'd been in a head-on auto collision when I was pregnant with my first child, and that resulted in some pretty severe injuries. I was very miserable, and I was on a lot of prescription drugs and in chronic pain all the time. And in 2006, God opened my eyes to alternative medicines and brought me to understand that good health is really all about keeping one's frequency high. And that can be done in a lot of ways. But one of the things that I did on a personal level was I ditched the prescription medications that were really riddling my body with side effects. I found that my body was able to heal on its own, but it needed the right kinds of natural supports. Once I received my Young Living starter kit in July of 2014 and saw that the Young Living essential oils were working on my own family's health, I became very passionate about learning things. And I became a voracious reader. I was attending a lot of workshops and classes, and I wanted to understand how these oils could do what I had hoped would be possible through the traditional systems, but really had never experienced. So I saw a man named Gary Young who was riding a tractor on his farms talking about his advanced chemistry labs to test for purity. And I learned about how many people in the health professions and veterinary professions have adopted Young Living to help their clients to achieve their goals. And since we had experienced the results firsthand, Jeff and I, my husband and I, decided that we wanted to help others learn what we had learned. So in August of 2015, Jeff and I hosted our very first ever Young Living training in our home, and we advanced to Senior Star that month. It was pretty cool. In 2017, we advanced to Executive, and now we lead a pretty substantial team of dedicated oilers. And due to my background in animal wellness and as a dog breeder, a large percentage of those members drawn to me own pets, and those pets are benefiting from the use of the essential oils. We work together, Jeff and I do, to encourage others to focus on their unique journeys and to stress the importance of taking care of themselves by using the oils consistently to improve their own personal wellness goals, by sharing with their hearts, and by dreaming big if they want to do the business. We are pet parents of several boxer dogs. We have 2 children. One is 27 and one is 26. We also breed boxers for service, show, and performance. And we love to share what we have learned to improve the vitality of people and their animals. I do want you to know that we're not medical professionals, and so we aren't licensed to diagnose or treat medical conditions. So please don't ask us to do that. We have to ignore any questions that are framed to treat a diagnosed illness. So what are essential oils? Well, plants contain complex and powerful substances that are known as essential oils. They are aromatic liquids, and they're derived from shrubs, flowers, trees, roots, bushes, and seeds. These distinctive components defend the plants from insects, from harsh environmental conditions, and from diseases. They're also vital for a plant to grow, to live, to evolve, and to adapt to its surroundings. They're referred to as the essence of the plant, So they are pure essential oils that not only protect the plant, but also determine its aroma. Essential oils have been used throughout time, dating back to 4500 BC, from perfumes and pleasant aromas to embalming and definitely medical purposes. Essential oils were used in everyday life for centuries. In modern days, research shows that pure essential oils can provide similar benefits to humans and animals that they give to the plants. And here's an interesting fact. Plants evolved to respond to environmental threats and to changing challenges to their ability to survive. So they are unlike synthesized compounds like prescription medications or things that are synthesized in the lab. Those can't change as the earth and natural assaults to the environment change. Plants are able to do that. So over time, the oils evolve as well. And God made them to help us keep up with our changing world. Why Young Living? Young Living is one of the oldest and certainly the largest essential oil company in the world. It's privately held, and it came from a deep-rooted passion that its founder, Gary Young, has for helping others to learn what the essential oils can do to enrich their lives, as they did for him. He suffered a tragic accident in his youth when a large tree fell on him, breaking his spine in numerous places. His long road to recovery included the discovery of the power of essential oils, and his passion birthed Young Living officially in 1993. The company has grown to well over $1.5 billion in annual sales strictly by word of mouth, by people like us. One person telling another how the oils have changed their lives for the better. With corporate offices in 11 countries, and currently I think there's 18 at the time of this recording farms all over the world. Young Living has unparalleled expertise in the growing and distillation, purity testing, and chemistry of essential oils. There are books written about Young Living's history, impact, and products available in many languages, and they house the largest database of essential oil chemistry anywhere in the world. Quality of essential oils starts at the farm, and it's proven in the labs. Through Young Living's stringent and unyielding quality benchmarks, the company is able to identify the most pure, genuine, and effective ingredients. They have quality control team in place that uses a battery of physical, chemical, and microbiological scientific tests to measure the exact components and properties of the essential oils. Jeff and I have been to the labs, we've seen it happening, and it's real. Each test is repeated numerous times during the quality process. Testing begins at the farms, and it continues all the way through to the final stages prior to shipment to the customers. There's a team of highly trained, highly skilled scientists performing state-of-the-art tests, including, but not limited to, densitometry, viscometry, refractometry, polarimetry, inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometry, hope I say these right, inductively coupled plasma atomic optical emission spectrometry, gas chromatography, high performance liquid chromatography, Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy, automated microenumeration, disintegration, pH, microscopy, combustibility, flashpoint, gas chromatography mass spectrometry, chiral chromatography, isotope radio mass spectrometry. While our labs can conduct all these tests, we routinely use our third-party labs to supplement our internal testing. Each of these labs have highly skilled and highly trained scientists. What's cool is you can go to any of Young Living's farms yourself to experience the whole seed to seal process. Young Living has an open door policy to its members. We've been to the farms several times. We found no doors locked or signs that said to stay out. And you are welcome to go to the harvest. You can help out, you can observe. They do a lot of trainings at the farms. So it's really cool. You can see the whole seed to seal process in action. I want to talk right now about some basic safety rules when you're using essential oils with animals or with people. First of all, don't ever put them in your eyes or in your ears. If you're in doubt, dilute, dilute, dilute. Young Living has the only essential oils approved for use as dietary supplements, and most of them can be safely ingested when they're labeled as vitality oils. They can be. What's in the normal bottles is the same as what's in the vitality oils, but they're the only company that has vitality labeled dietary essential oils. We're going to cover the subtleties of application with animals as we move forward in this class, but just make sure that if you ever do get them in your eyes or ears or in the eyes or ears of an animal, that you flush them with a clean carrier oil. Like my preference is Young Living V6 oil. You can use olive oil, jojoba oil, or a number of others. Don't use water because water and oils don't mix, and the carrier oil will, if you do have a hot reaction to an oil or something stings, it'll calm the pain and it'll slow down the absorption rate. There are a variety of ways for animals to receive the benefits of essential oils. The most common is by using a cold diffuser, but many animals prefer to have the oils put directly onto their bodies or even misted onto them. For certain applications, even oral use is acceptable by adding them into food or water, and we'll go over that. Really, you should start slowly when you're first using essential oils on your dog, unless rapid life-saving intervention is required. Because dogs have 220 million olfactory receptors within their nasal cavity, so a dog's sense of smell is infinitely stronger than a human's. So it's imperative to start slowly so you don't overwhelm them. You want to introduce the oils one at a time. Use just one drop. Unless the situation really calls for more than that, just start off with one drop. Let them smell it. You don't have to chase them down, get close to them. Just let them smell it. They can probably smell it across a room. And as you can see, the dog in the picture is smelling out of a bottle. That's a good way to let them inhale it. Just take it slow with them. If you overwhelm them at the beginning, they may develop an aversion to just the overwhelming sense of smell that they get. So just take it easy on them. A lot of animals love to smell essential oils in the air. Mine do. And cold diffusers are a great way to introduce them. There are a variety of styles to choose from. They cover different size rooms. The average room of about 300 square feet is easily covered by diffusion, which can be set to run from just a few minutes to many hours. One of the things you'll want to keep in mind is don't ever lock your animal up in a room with a diffuser blasting at them. They should have the ability to come and go as they please unless you're tenting in a diffuser for an acute situation. Diffusers hold room temperature water. They do not make steam. So therefore, if they spill, they cannot cause burns. The way they work is that microparticles of the molecules are thrown out into the air where they can be absorbed topically and through inhalation in a gentle and sustained way. So start with one drop in the diffuser in a room where the dog can come and go. Watch for a positive response. You can add a few more drops or move to a smaller room or tenting only after testing in this way. Closed rooms and tenting require supervision. If your dog experiences any kind of discomfort, like they show obvious aversion or they're sneezing or coughing, if they start detoxing, if they're lethargic, if they have increased breathing rate, panting, drooling, their eyes are squinting, or they have some kind of change in their breathing patterns, just give them some more room to move away or use a toothpick's worth of essential oil in the diffuser until you see a more positive response. Typically, they don't get overwhelmed by diffusers unless they're being tinted, but it's just something to keep in mind. Another way to expose the animals to essential oils is through what we call passive diffusion. This allows the oils to evaporate from a full concentration directly into the air. And this is done by placing a few drops on a cotton ball or on a flat, shallow dish. You can add natural reeds into the dish to wick the oils up into the air at low potencies. It also includes when the animal caregivers put an oil on themselves and stand within a short distance of the animal. You then become a passive diffuser yourself. If your animal responds well to oils, they certainly can be held in your arms while you're wearing essential oils on your skin and you're acting as a diffuser yourself. When you're putting oils onto an animal, dilute them with a carrier oil first. You can apply them most often to the ears and the spine on a dog or a cat. Oils can be applied to many areas of the body safely, but just make sure that you avoid the eyes and avoid the ears down into the ear canal. It's okay to put them up on the top of the ears, on the outside of the ears, around the ears. Just don't dump them into the ears and let them drip down into the eardrum. And also avoid the sensitive body parts such as genitalia. If you apply according to instructions for that particular oil on or near the body part that needs attention, then that's the best way to apply them topically. If you're just looking for kind of general immune support or general wellness, or it's a systemic kind of support you're looking for, then applying to the ears or spine is really the best way to go. A lot of us have individual sensitivities to things like household cleaners and synthetic foods and petroleum-based things and hair and skin products and perfume. And not surprisingly, each species has a different level of liver function. And so some of the essential oils with high phenol and monoterpene and ketone content may need to be used sparingly. This is especially true with cats. And this chart that you see in front of you is a general rule of thumb. When you're first starting, or if you're unsure, use less and watch for reactions. The chart is what we use for animals who are already accustomed to an oil and reacting well to it. Consider that quality and purity are of the utmost importance when it comes to animals. Many aspects of the supply chain for essential oils have been affected by greed and commercialism that have tainted growing and extraction and distillation and packaging of plant essences. So quality is really, really important with animals. There's an application that is called the Raindrop Technique that's become a very common and regular way to administer oils. It was developed by Gary Young for humans and adapted by a number of animal health professionals for the use in animals. It's a wonderful application for any animal. It can be a simplified version of the application used for humans. You can use your common sense. There are books that teach you and videos that teach you how to do the Raindrop Technique on animals. You're just gonna, for dosing purposes, I'm not going into the whole technique here, but for dosing purposes, smaller amounts of the oil and a much shorter time is good for dogs. The basic technique, so you understand it, is a sequence of oils that are applied in order, generally down their spine with a kind of a feathering process out from the spine. And the sequence is generally this: valor, oregano, thyme, basil, marjoram, cypress, wintergreen, aromacease, peppermint, and ortho-ease massage oil. So after each oil is dropped onto the spine, you stroke it from the back to the tail, back of the tail up to the head. You lightly feather or stroke the oils onto the animal 2 or 3 times. And just getting the oils on will stimulate circulation and overall response. You can watch for a demonstration of Raindrop in another class that we're going to be teaching. A lot of people report great results with compresses on dogs. It's very easy to make a warm compress. You can place 6 to 10 drops of V6 vegetable oil complex or another pure carrier oil in the palms of your hands, and then you can add 1 or 2 drops of the essential oil to that. You then rub your hands together, apply it directly to the area of concern on their body, and then you cover the location with a hot, damp towel. You cover the moist towel with a dry towel for, say 10 to 30 minutes, depending on their need and or likelihood of holding still. And that's a wonderful way to get those oils down into the system. Sometimes we like to administer the oils orally, and we'll do that by mixing them with foods. Not all dogs will appreciate the addition of essential oils into their food. The caregivers have to determine their own dog's needs and wants. In our experience, the hotter oils aren't well received in food, and those are things like that you would imagine, like clove and cinnamon and oregano. You can either refer to your resource books to determine if an oil is hot, or you can use common sense. If you put a drop on your own tongue and see if it feels hot, be sure to use the Vitality labeled oils, as they are generally regarded as safe to ingest. But much of a dog's food will have a fatty content, so adding an essential oil to it is like diluting with a carrier. A few drops could be added to soft, moist food. We use raw meat blends, or to something like bone broth poured into food. You can also experiment by mixing various essential oils with Ninja Red. It almost goes without saying that feeding your dog a fresh, raw carnivore diet is foundational to great health. I'm a big fan of raw diet. That's all we feed here. And we don't recommend feeding heat processed kibble, but the oils can be mixed with whatever you're feeding. If you've determined that you want to have your dog ingest essential oils, then be sure to use either a stainless steel or ceramic or glass bowl, because true essential oils will degrade petrochemicals, and so they're not really a good idea to put them in plastic. The other thing you want to do is add a second water bowl without essential oils, so that they can have a choice. And in my experience, they will self-administer, especially if they have felt the benefits of the oils before. They'll recognize the smells, and they're able to discern if the oil will be helpful to them. So it's good to start with dipping a toothpick into the essential oil bottle and stir it into the water bucket, rather than starting with an entire drop. In the picture here, this is not a Vitality oil. It was before the Vitality oils were out. But do use the Vitality labeled oils if they're going to be used orally. Now, water and oil don't mix. So water can be used as a dispersing medium. The concentrated oil droplets are going to float on the top, but the general dilution will help to minimize potential reactions. The dispersed droplets in water may prove if an animal is adverse to the smell and or taste. So just use a very, very small amount and give them a chance to self-administer. A lot of oil enthusiasts and professionals have found a lot of success using vegetable gelatin capsules for administering essential oils orally. The oils can be added to an empty gel capsule and given to dogs by mouth. Once again, just be aware of sensitivities and generally do this only under the advice of a health professional. The capsules are readily available at supplement supply stores, health food stores, or from Young Living directly. You can put the drops desired into the capsule and then fill it up with a carrier oil like V6 from Young Living, or olive oil or coconut oil, that kind of thing. Another way to administer orally is called administration into the buccal cavity, which uses the mucous membranes of the cheek or lip to deliver quick absorption. The animal's bottom lip can be pulled out and a drop of essential oil can be put in. The dog will feel the effect quickly due to the large number of capillaries in that area. And administering directly to the gums can work the same way. Try using a dilution of 1 drop of oil to 5 drops of carrier oil. Mix it on your hand and then apply a light coating of the dilution onto the gums. Usually 1 to 3 drops of the diluted mixture are sufficient for the gum application method. Another way to do it is by giving oral drops. It's usually reserved for animals recovering from a procedure, but it can be tested just as with other methods of administration. Just don't overwhelm your animal, and always remember, dilute, dilute, dilute. And the same is true with sublingual or under the tongue administration. This is for situations where you need fast absorption. So those mucous membranes are great for fast absorption. This method it's often used for animals, again, who are recovering from a procedure or in an acute situation. And then another interesting way to do oral administration is just never underestimate the fact that essential oils applied to fur can be licked off. That gives you oral administration and quicker absorption. This can reach therapeutic levels and may be a very effective way to administer orally as long as the animal likes the taste of the oils. Direct inhalation can be done via sniffing right from the bottle, or from the caregiver's hands, or from a cold diffuser. So when you're using any of these methods, don't force your dog to inhale the vapors. Just offer an open bottle and allow them to come to it. Put a couple of drops of the chosen oil in the palms of your hands, rub it together, and offer them an outward hand like a fan to let them sniff at their own pace. When you're diffusing, just allow them to come and go as they please in the room that you're diffusing in. Misting is a perfect form of external application, provided you have a few key tools, because many misting or spray bottles have plastic parts that would come in contact with the essential oils. It's recommended that this method be done with a specialized glass spray bottle. While some plastic components in a sprayer may be unavoidable, it's best to go as close to glass as possible. You fill the bottle with oil or water. You add the desired drops of essential oils, shake it well, and mist the solution either near the animal's wound, or over the top of a current area of application to layer the oils and to stimulate deeper absorption. You can also use it for applying essential oils to foods for ingestion, so you can actually spray the foods. Just make sure that if it's water you're using with the essential oils, just shake before every time you spray it. Our next training is going to be covering the oils and the products that are contained in the Young Living Premium Starter Kit in depth. And we would like for you to have that starter kit available when you're going through that training, because it's very experiential, and we'll be going through a lot of ways to actually experience the oils, or with even using yourself as a diffuser. If you had an invitation from somebody else to come to this training, please ask them to help you get a starter kit. If not, you're certainly welcome to buy your kit under our sponsorship, or the sponsorship of somebody on our team. And your kit will probably take a week or so to get there, so just make sure that you have it on hand when the next class begins. I want to thank you for attending this new series of training events just for dogs. Please share the word that dogs can benefit from safe, quality essential oils made by Young Living. The Kindred Oils Animal Group is a growing group of animal enthusiasts that are learning and spreading our education to pet owners throughout the world about the power of Young Living products to keep our animals living vital, healthy lives. And this stems from my breeding program that's focused on longevity in my chosen breed of boxers. And I love sharing about what I've learned over the years and what it's done for my dogs. There are a lot of dog breeders and pet owners who are using Young Living products, and there are also a lot of veterinarians, naturopaths, animal health professionals worldwide. So please continue to come to these trainings. If you're not yet a member of Young Living, we'd be honored to sponsor and teach you on your journey. And if someone else invited you, please have them help you with that. And if you would like us to, just let us know. Thank you so much.